Hello, we're on the air. I'm Chicago Pino. I'm with Michael Nahabedian. Am I pronouncing that right? Excellent.
Good.
That's what happens. Mom's from Greece originally.
There you go.
And part of the Armenian church for a while. So
Very close.
We get our pronunciation down early. And we are on location today at Naha. We're going to talk about a special wine that is available here at Naha, the Moscofilero. Zoom in. And there's a lot to know about this grape. So let's start with the basic flavor profile.
Well, first of all, it's an indigenous grape in Greece. It's George Strauss, who produced it for us, is this particular vintage is spectacular. A little, I would say, a little apricot and pear and peach.
Okay.
But not necessarily dry fruit. It has the nose of perhaps like a Riesling, with vibrant acidity in the middle and a great long finish. But definitely a wine that is great for the afternoon or evenings.
Okay. Well, it's about 4 p.m. now, so probably a good time. A little brisk day here in Chicago. It's the second day of the baseball season. Were you at the game yesterday?
Yeah, that's why my voice isn't very good. I'm unfortunately a Cub fan, yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, there's no good wine there at Wrigley, is there?
Really. I didn't find any of these, so that's for sure.
Maybe we could get some of this in there. What are some good foods that would pair well with the Moscofilero?
Well, obviously, it's a great seafood wine. So we're here at Naha. We're pairing it with everything from our scallops to wonderful salads and what have you. Also, so any salads, anything with a great, even the funkier cheeses, it goes great with.
Okay.
But as we get more into the spring and the summer, we do a mezza platter here in our lounge menu that's fantastic with hummus and baba ganoush. I usually will push it with rosés and what have you, still rosés. But this is a wine for this year because this just came out about a month ago that we're going to be, obviously because there's a commitment to the wine with how many cases that we had George produce for us. So it's one of those wines. Here at Naha, I pour about 26 wines by the glass.
Wow.
So we pour about 12 reds. If it's in the wintertime, maybe 13 reds and do 10 or 11 whites. But now coming in the summer, we'll do more like 13 whites, 10 or 11 reds, and then 4 sparklings. So with that, and we sell a little bit of everything, but this is a wine that we're going to be a lot. Obviously, when I was in Greece, I tasted this wine, and we would eat it at all times of the day. George, we were drinking it all the time. He was like, Michael, you have to understand that this wine, besides just seafood, even like some grilled meats are great with it too. Just because if you're glazing it with something like a honey or something, if you're doing a pork tenderloin or something, it goes great because it has that tad bit of sweetness to it. So it goes with some spicier foods too. So
can you tell me a little about Mr. Scors's background? He's a pretty big player in Greek wine, isn't he?
He's probably the number one producer, or who's considered the number one producer. But yeah, he produces wines. We're an independent restaurant, so I've always one of those people that I love to promote wines from smaller producers, a little bit more boutique producers. This wine would be the wine, the Moscofilero that he produced for us. It feels like a wine that was produced by somebody who doesn't make a ton of cases of wine.
Okay.
So, but George is a background who's been doing it for a long time. He did some time in Burgundy and Bordeaux, but where I got to know George was through a gentleman by the name of Ted Diamantis, who's from Diamond Importers, who's a dear friend of mine, who sells his wine through Heritage Wine Cellars.
Is he local?
He is local.
Okay.
And we took a trip. I always tell Ted I want to do a TV show about him because if anybody across the country would want to go to Greece and have anybody have a better understanding of Greece, its culture, its wine, and its food, there's nobody who does it better than Ted. So Ted introduced me to George years ago, and George and I have become great friends. And last summer we went over to Greece and in Nemea and stayed in Nafrion, which is about a half hour away, and on the water, and spent a lot of time in the winery working with George. About a week or so. I wouldn't say that I was a cellar rat or anything like that, but it was quite fun. Yeah.
Okay. Now there are a lot of different varietals indigenous to Greece. How did you know you wanted to make one from Moscofilero?
Well, I would say the flavor profile was pretty much what it was. This one, the acidity is so great, and we'll taste it in a little while. I'll let you some because if you haven't had it. First of all, I wanted to do something, obviously, an indigenous grape. I'm half Greek and half Armenian. So on the Greek side of my family, we've had many Greek wines growing up, but now Ted is one of the biggest proponents in the world of pushing Greece and trying to take it to the next level. Mm-hmm. So I had wanted to do maybe a red private label, but I wanted to stay away from the reds, and I thought that I do a few private label reds with some other producers in the States, so I wanted to do something from Greece. So as far as the flavor profile, why I chose Moscofilero, it was more about what foods it could go great with. I do private label reds. I want to do a couple wines.
Okay.
That's more or less where I'm going.
And I imagine when you're choosing any wine for the restaurant, you're thinking about what's going to be on the menu now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now.
Well, I've been doing wine for a long time from the restaurants for almost 3 years. You can't, when you taste wine, it can't always be about what you like or taste. It has to be a little bit about what your customers are looking for and what have you, and what foods you're getting into. And my cousin Carrie's food has evolved a little bit, and there are different nuances what we're using. So it's just fun to use a wine that's so versatile, and that's what I went with.
And can we purchase this here at the restaurant or here locally, or
only in the restaurant?
Only in the restaurant.
Yes.
And can you take it to go, or?
Yes, you can. So if you open up a bottle, we have special bags that can take them out, but also you can take it out of the restaurant.
Excellent. Okay. Well, great. Well, what are some of your future projects? Do you want to mention any of the other wineries you're working with?
I work with Jim Clendenin with Old Clement in Santa Barbara, as well as Bob Lindquist with Coupe. I have worked with some other producers and done some stuff. We're making a honey here at Naha and labeling it. We're doing we have Koval is making a pear brandy for us with the pears from Seedling, which is in Michigan, a farmer up there. So it's not necessarily wine right at the present time. I do think the commitment, this wine probably by the end of the summer, I might not have any more of it left. So what I might do with George is in the fall go out there again and work with him again, and maybe, like we had said, maybe possibly do something with a red. But as of right now, I'm too into this wine to think about it.
All right, well, thanks for spending some time with me today. This is Chicago Pinot signing off. I'll have a review of the wine later this week on the blog. And let's give a plug to Naha again, address, website, all that good stuff.
Naha Restaurant, we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary in November, so now we're into our 11th year, crazy. We are at 500 North Clark Street at the corner of Clark and Illinois, 312-321-6242, or you can get reservations through OpenTable or through our website that links with OpenTable at www.naha-chicago.com.
Well, thanks again very much. This is Chicago Pinot signing off for now, and I'll have some notes on the Moscofilero later this week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.